Alright, so welcome to this kind of short BrokenGrandAm. It's been a while. Today's going to be power steering. My brother's needs a new one, so we're going to go ahead and do a quick video to kind of go along with me mentioning it in the common question video. So I'll show you real quick how to change the actual pump, and we'll kind of go over the rest of the power steering system itself. Now this is done with a power assist one. The non-power assist will be about this. Will be the same, honestly, just no plug to plug in. Working on Tanner's car. Let's get started. All right, so I've jumped ahead a little bit here. So we're changing a pump, and to get the pump off, the best way to make it easier to get to the bolts here is to take the top plate of the mount off. So for the mount, on the motor side is two 18 millimeters. On the car side is two 15 millimeters. Take that off. Make sure you got the motor supported. We have a jack under there holding it right now. That way it doesn't fall out, plus you'll be able to maneuver it to get everything back together. So you have to get that off, you need your belt off. Now we have a fancy tool for that. Basically you go inside your tensioner, you push towards your firewall, it releases your belt. That's where we stopped. So for the actual pump here, there's three 13 millimeter bolts. We'll get those off and you go to wiggle this right out of there. Unplug our line down here. Go ahead and slide that to the side. What's the wiggling? Pump. Whoa! Ah! Pop out and spill everywhere.
Sounds like the last bit of ketchup out of the bottle.
Oh, there it goes.
Alright.
So it actually tightens the nut. So now we got the pump out. I used a turkey baster. Comes in handy. Suck all the fluid out of the reservoir so it don't spill everywhere. Your hard line here is a 16 millimeter. I kind of put it against the manifold here because it is on there pretty tight. Pop that loose. Factory on the soft line, your low pressure line, is actually similar to this guy, where you gotta grip it. So I took that off and I actually ran one with a Phillips head on there so I can actually tighten it down without having to mess with it. But anyway, so take these two lines off and that's it. Next we'll move to removing our pulley. So for this part, you're gonna need a puller. You can rent them at your local parts store. Basically what it does, it grabs on the lip on the pulley and onto this puller here, and what we're going to do is we're going to twist this out and it's going to draw the pulley off. New pump back on. It's good to get each bolt started and then go ahead and tighten it down. Kind of take a look, make sure you're lined up with your pulleys. We got our lines back on, make sure they're both nice and tight. If you have the variable assist, make sure your plugs plug back in. We're gonna add some fluid and then we're going to finish putting everything together, and then we're gonna lift it all the way off the ground and do the bleeding procedure. As far as fluid, just standard power steering fluid is all you really need to use. Make sure it doesn't say anything like Asian car or whatever. If you flip around the back side, you'll see that it actually says, you know, GM, Ford, Chrysler. So that's all we use there. So as you see, we filled it with fluid. And we started it up. We have not touched the steering wheel yet. I want to make sure that whatever it's going to take is going to take real quick. So from here, what you're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to keep going back and forth the full lock. You'll go until it makes the loudest noise and stops turning. Go all the way back, and you're going to go back and forth probably 5-10 minutes. Keep an eye on your fluid. You'll probably see a lot of bubbling, which is good because you're getting rid of the air in the system. Also, make sure you're checking for leaks. And that's pretty much it for the bleeding procedure. So it'd actually be a little easier just to use this car to show you the system. So let me clear out some stuff and we'll take a closer look. So as far as lines, it's kind of complicated, but not really. It's more that they're just difficult to get to. So what happens is here you have your high and your low pressure here. So your high pressure being the one that screws in, your low pressure being the one that just kind of clamps on there. So these actually go to the steering column where you're actually turning, and from there, 2 lines go to the actual steering rack, which you see these 2 right here. So these 2 are actually leading over there. So just kind of misleading if you got to work on this. As far as the steering, this and the steering rack, it's a lot easier working from below. Obviously, most of the motor is missing here. It gives you a little better look at what the lines and where they go. So just thought of something that I forgot to add in and mention, because it's kind of normal to me. As you see, this pulley is different. So this is the factory one that's actually plastic, and they do like to break. I've had a couple go loose on me. Here, this one's. So my thought is if you're changing the whole pump, you got to change your pulley anyway, because they don't sell them with the pulley already installed. So I go ahead and just order the newer all metal style to go with it. So it also makes getting to the bolts easier if you ever have to take it back off, because it's a lot more open. Figure I just mentioned that if you guys got confused because it looks different, that's why. Alright, so that'll be it for this BrokenGrandAm. Apologize, it's a little shorter than what they usually are. The lines are a little more hands-on. A little strapped for time, so I really didn't get into all of that. So hopefully this helped you guys at least change pumps and at least trace lines if you need to figure out where leaks are, and at least a general idea how they work. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.